you have any idea how dangerous it is to mess with a bee? Donald Duck stood there, fully armed and ready for battle, but the bee wasn't backing down. It pulled out a cactus spine, strapped it to its body like a weapon, and launched itself forward like a tiny arrow. And it all started because Donald stole some honey. When the bee saw what had happened, it was so furious that smoke almost puffed from its antennae. At first, it was willing to let him go, but then Donald got an idea. If bees and flowers make honeycombs, he thought, then if I help them, I can get more honey. Thrilled by his own genius, he jumped right into action. On his way, he placed down an ink pad to track where the beehive might be. Then he picked up a magnifying glass and began following the footprints. Suddenly, his vision blurred. The bee had drawn a circle on the ground, trapping Donald in a dizzy loop. Meanwhile, the bee continued forward on stilts, completely unfazed. Donald cut out a sticky piece of paper and shaped it into a fake flower. He tied a thin string to the center, swapped it with a real flower, and waited. Sure enough, the bee got stuck. Donald grabbed the string and started walking, thinking he had captured it, but the bee had already cut the branch. The string dangled in midair, leaving Donald to climb up after nothing. The bee happily went back to collecting nectar, not realizing Donald had just found the real hive. Donald grabbed a few jars and poured out every drop of honey he could find. Meanwhile, the bee flew home, ready to store its nectar, but instead of a sweet sound, it heard the hollow clink of empty jars. It peeked inside. The honey was gone. Furious, the bee shot off after Donald. Donald grabbed the flower vase to defend himself. The bee tried to stop midair, but it was too late. It buzzed with rage, ripped out its own stinger, grabbed another cactus spine, strapped it on, and launched itself again. Donald ran for his life, but the bee wasn't done. It aimed, fired, and Donald's head ended up shaped like a honeycomb. Terrified, Donald waved a white flag, returning all the honey in surrender. Seeing him give up, the bee finally stopped its attack. But of course, Donald Duck had one last jar secretly hidden away.